This is an acoustic guitar track, and in this video I'm going to show you how I gain stage and balance my tracks. So in this track I have used drums, bass, synths, and obviously some layers of guitars and a lead guitar playing the main melody. So my gain stage starts from the recording stage. I have used Neumann TLM102 microphone and I connected through my audio interface, which is Audient ID44. So on my audio interface there is an input knob. So in every audio interface there is a light detector where you can check the signal. If it is clipping, it turns red, and if it's good, then it's green. For the gain staging while recording, which is very important, what I do is I play the loudest section of the song. Maybe I'm recording my acoustic guitar and I try to hit the strums a little harder and check if it is clipping or not, and that's how I set the gain. And if it is not clipping there, then I'm sure it's not going to clip anywhere in the song because I'm checking with the loudest hit or the strum or trying to play the loudest part. That's how I am sure that my gain staging is right, because if the signal clips while recording, then you cannot fix it later and it will be already recorded with the distorted signal. So this is very important to check before recording, and that's how my gain staging starts. And then I'm going to show how I am gain staging my drums, my other guitar layers and all the tracks, and I'll do the balancing one by one. So let's begin. Before I move to the balancing, I want to check the vibe of the song. So I call it vibe checker. What I do, straight on the master bus, I put a reverb or a delay kind of a plugin. This time I'm going to put Comeback Kid. This is a delay, a reverb kind of a plugin with some saturation and modulation effects built into this. So I'm going to activate this and check my master. Maybe this is not something going to end up in the final mix, but this is something that I call vibe check. And I check the vibe of the song. If it sounds good, then I move ahead and try to build individually all the balancing and all these things. So to me, it already adds the vibe of the song. So I'm a little confident to move forward and mix this song. But before mixing it, I'll produce it because it's sounding good because I have made my sound choices good. That's why it is already sounding good and a little balanced, but it needs a little more balancing and some sort of processing with the guitar so I can bring more clarity and depth to the mix. So before even I start mixing, what I do is I make sure my production is good, my sound selections are good, and I will balance the tracks, pan them properly, and then I'll make sure my gain staging is right from the very beginning. As I have not used any analog gear or hardwares or preamp to record my guitars and the percussion what I recorded or the MIDI instruments and all these things, what I'm going to do is I'm going to emulate that I'm using a preamp or a tape machine, something like that, and I'll do the gain staging accordingly. Let's first balance the track and then I will apply some preamp emulations that I'm going to show you in a moment, and that will give the analog character in this mix. So I'm going to properly gain stage everything. So with the clip gain first, let's start with the guitar riff. So the signal is too low, so I'm going to increase the volume a little bit from here, from the clip gain and not from the fader. Why? Because this is something that is getting fed into the mixing console of Cubase. So if I just increase from the fader, what happens is I'm increasing the output of this channel but not the input. So I want to make sure I have a healthy signal coming in, but it is not clipping. Even if it is clipping and then I pull fader from here, it will stop clipping and showing it is not clipping. But what will happen is the input of this channel will clip actually. So I'm going to make sure the gain staging is proper. So I'm going to drive it a little bit. Then I'm going to add a tape. I'm going to add this tape from Universal Audio, and this sounds fantastic. Just because I'm not using any analog gear or hardware or any preamps, what I'm going to do, I'm going to emulate a tape machine sound, and I will think like I have recorded this guitar and all my tracks through the tape machines. So this is not mixing stage. I will consider this as the recording and production stage. So this is what I'm doing right now, gain staging and selecting my preamps and the tape machine machines, what I'm going to do. So this will be giving me the color and the saturation and the warmth. So if I select the 7.5 IPS, this means a slower tape speed, which gives a warmer sound. If I increase that, it will make the top end a little more brighter, but I want a warmer sound. So I'll go with the 7.5 IPS and I will put this tape on each and every channel. So be it my recordings that I record my guitars or the percussion, the tambourine, or be it the MIDI programmed drums or the synths, whatever, I'm going to use this tape on each and every channel to emulate that analog character. And I'm going to make sure that my gain is proper. So before hitting the tape, it was picking at around -12 dBs, and I think that's the sweet spot. I have been experimenting and I found that the sweet spot for me that has been working because I will have a lot of headroom. Because when all the track adds up more than -6 or more than that, then the master bus is certainly going to clip. So without going into that complications, from the very beginning, I'll be targeting -12 or -10 around. There is not a specific number that you have to calculate and do this. I have set my Cubase fader color coded in a way so I can see if it is going from pink or changing colors. I understand that it is more than -12 or it is getting hotter or not. Let's run it through the tape. I'm going to drive it a little more, but I'll not touch 0 because then it will just destroy the transients of the guitar. What the tape does is basically it adds a little glue. It rounds off the peaks and the harsh transients, and it makes it sound a little warm and full. Let's drive it. And I'm going to compensate with the output knob. So that's the gain structure of this guitar riff I will target. I will make sure I put this tape on each and every channel. And on the guitar too. So before I switch on the tape, what I'm going to do is I'll check the gain. I'll have to increase it a little bit. You can increase in two ways. You can just select the audio event. From the top, you can change the volume from here by dragging it, or here you have an option. This is in Cubase 14 Pro, you have this option, so it's the same thing. I'll try to make sure that it peaks around -12 or -10, something like that. And then I'll switch on the tape. It is right now hitting more than 0. I'll try to pull it back a little bit. Then I'll compensate with the output knob. So I'll be checking the faders. It should be the same, like hitting between -12 and -10. So just before the tape. So after the tape also, it should be there. You can roughly use your ears for this. So you have a solid headroom going on and solid gain staging going on from the very beginning. That's pretty good. Then I'll move on to guitar 3. I'll check without the tape first. This is pretty hot, so I'm going to select all the clips together and take the gain down a little bit. So it's hitting around -12. Now I'll switch on the tape. then I have 2 guitar rhythm parts. I will balance it out individually for the left channel. Good enough. Then I'll switch on the tape. I'll back off a little bit. Fine. Then I'll do the same thing with another track. I'll check the gain. With the tape. I'll try to balance this with the guitar on the left. I can balance it with the output knob from the tape only. Fine. Then I'll go to the guitar rig. I'll bring up the gain. Now I'll switch on the tape one by one. I'll back it off a little bit. Same for the guitar harmonies. So I just quantized it a little bit. I just moved the last note so it hits together, and then I'll put a fade out so it ends together. Sounds tighter. Now I'll just check with the guitar lead. I'll check the loudest part. Yeah, sounds good. So I'll engage the tape. I'll back it off a little bit, else the transients will be lost totally. It sounds dynamic. I don't want to change this so much, but when I put the compressor letter, it will trigger the compressor a little more. So I'm going to just reduce the clip gain from here. I can just simply go to the range selection tool or press 2 on my keyboard and just select this part and just bring it down. Just 1 dB. So when I bring the compressors letter, it doesn't have to over compress it, and working hard to just tame down this peaks just because I've controlled it manually. This is something which I like to do. If you don't know how I came up with this track, actually I planned to record something live on camera, and then I decided to write a melody on the go and come up with a song idea. Then I came up with a riff. live on this video while shooting this video, and then I came up with melody idea, and then I started arranging it, everything live, and then I programmed some drums, bass, synths and all these things. I did it everything live while shooting this video. So if you have missed that part 1, you can check the link out here. Let's get back to it. I will now balance the drums and do with the gain staging for the drums. So this is already a programmed drums. For the kick, I have kept it a little consistent and with almost same velocity. So because I wanted the kick to be solid and the rest of the things can be a little dynamic. And so let's check the gain of the kick. Nice. I will now engage the tape. I'll just back it off a little bit. And I'll compensate. Same goes with the snare. Then I'll introduce the tape. I'll drive it a little more for the snare. Without the tape, even the snare has a saturation. It was built into the contact library. But with the tape, it is hitting the same level within -10 and 12, but it sounds much more loud because this is called perceived loudness because of the saturation the tape is providing. Without the tape, it sounds much full and much warm and much upfront. I'll check the rack toms without the tape first. I'll reduce the volume with the clip gain. Now I'll bring the tape. It is hitting too hard. I'll compensate. Good enough. Now let's check the floor tom. I'll bring down the clip gain. Now engage the tape. I'll back it off. Yeah, I'm going to check if it is hitting in the middle and not towards 0. What happens if I hit more than 0? I will get a cool sound. It will sound more saturated, but the transients will be more rounded off. So it will be difficult for the toms, for this transient elements which has sharp attacks to cut through. So I want to preserve that and I want to saturate less, not so much. That's why I'm backing off a little bit with the tape. Then I'll compensate. Now let me check the overheads. For the overheads, I have to be a little careful because if I drive it too much, it will take away the clarity of the cymbals and the hi-hats. Then I'll move to the hats. Good enough. Now I'll check the room stereo mics. I can saturate the room mics a little more. I'll drive it with the tape a little more. I'll bring it down. So I'm done with the drums. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to create a group for all the drums. I can select all the tracks, right click, and from here under add track, I can select group track to selected tracks and I'll call it drums. So I have all the drums together. So this is a static mix right now. I'm not building everything from scratch. So I already had a balance. I just gain staged a little bit and then the balance has a little bit dismantled, but I'm rebalancing things. I'm not starting from 0. Let's just focus on the drums first. I'll zoom it a little bit. Yeah, I'll take out the rooms for now. Instead of the fader, what I do, I like to keep my faders at unity because I want to use my faders in the mixing console for all the automation tasks that I'm going to do in the later stage. So I try to keep my faders at unity point, and I try to do the balancing with a volume plugin. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to insert a volume plugin. So use this volume on each channel. I'll take out the room for now. So the hi-hats can go down a little bit. Take out the overhead. Yeah, let's focus on the rides. I can pan the rides a little bit to the right. So I will just mute the tambourine for now. So I'm balancing this drums in the drummer's perspective. So the hi-hats are on the left side, the ride is on the right side. So these open hats are a little loud, so I can bring them down from here. So these are the little details that I do manually, so I don't have to rely on the compressor. So this sounds a lot natural and gives me better result. Here as well, I can just bring down the open hats. Just a bit. And Cubase has a very cool feature. If I just select the range selection tool and press and hold Command and Shift together, it automatically detects the waveform, and then I can bring them down. This gives me a way faster workflow and is a very cool trick in Cubase 14 Pro. So I can do this stuff very quickly. Just I can see the waveforms, so I can bring them down. So this is done already. So while balancing, the mindset is pretty important and you need to focus on certain sounds. The balance you do sounds good. So what I listen to, I try to focus on the kick and the snare, those being the loudest in the drum kit. And then I focus on the hi-hats or the other stuffs around it. So it doesn't overpower them. It just tucks in between, just below the kick and the snare. The kick and the snare being the most loudest part. Give it a listen again. This already sounds good. The toms are sounding pretty good. Let's bring in the room and the overheads. Sounds good. Let's bring in the room mics. So this is the room stereo mics. bring in the room mono mic. So this sounds like this. Let's balance it out with the full drum kit. The drum sounds a little balanced. Now I'll adjust the tambourine. Yeah, feels like a good balance. So I'm just building a static mix. I'm not going for any EQ or compression right now. I just want to give it a good starting point so I can understand how the song sounds with only faders and the panning and proper gain staging, of course. This is how it sounds so far with the drums and the guitars being gain staged and with a rough static balance. Next, I will start gain staging the bass and the synths and then start balancing, and after that I'll be processing with some effects, compressors, EQs and all these things, and then I'll show how I use my reverbs, delays, chorus and all other effects as inserts and sends and why I do that. I will explain all these things, so check the next video for that.